Sonnets of Shakespeare's Ghost by Thomas George Tucker. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo and Eva Davis. Section 1, Sonnets 1 through 6. 1. The wise world saith I not unlocked my heart when I of thee and thy dear love did write, and would each word of mine to false convert, doing my simple sense a double spite. It saith thou wert but shadow born of naught, but vain creation of an apish rhyme, while fashion's fool my strained invention sought to better them who best did please the time. But wherefore say they so, and do dear wrong to thee, whose worth was my sole argument, to me, whose verse 'twas truth alone made strong? By that the breast must feel, not brain invent. They who this doubt never such beauty knew, nor what to poet love alone can do.
2. They say a man ne'er bore such love to man, or if he did, 'twere but a cause for shame. But, speaking so, they their own measures scan, and blot their censure with self-blaming blame. For thou being beauty's best, the best of me, worshipped but beauty's self and beauty's worth, my fire and air, my spirit adored thee, unmixed with gross compounding of my earth. And thou wert best of truth, the first in grace of all rich gems and virtue's carcanet. Then should I not love thee, and give thee place above all love of sense on woman set? In love of beauty, whate'er shape 'tis in, there's naught of truth, if it must think of sin.
3. Look when the rose to deep vermilion hue adds that sweet odor gracious nature gives, when his proud glory gladdens every view, and no base worm within his beauties lives. We nothing question of what sex it be, nor ask more of it than that it should lend his lovely gaze for ravished eye to see, and on the blessed air his fragrance spend. We ask not that the star which lights the heaven should be or male or female to our sense. Sufficed in this, that it empearls the even, and happies all are under reverence. Then mightst not thou, who wert both rose and star, be pure to me as these to others are.
4. Some hold it strange that love like thine and mine 'twixt two in state so sundered should be bred, that he who did all worths in him combine, birth, beauty, wit, wealth, me thus honoured, me, the poor motley, maimed by fortune's spite, seared and o'erworn with tyranny of time, whose wit was but the wit to learn to write, when thou, my muse, inspiredst my pupil rhyme. Thou wert the wide world's pride, but I his scorn. His pattern thou, I his poor toy and tool. Whence therefore should that tender love be born 'twixt fortune's minion thee, and me her fool? Oh, know they not that all such outward things hold lowest count in the soul's reckonings?
5. Hadst thou been such as, boasting of their birth, pass by the humbler born with proud disdain, making self-merit of the antique worth whereby some sire that state for them did gain, had riches dross so reigned in thy respect that riches' lack were deemed by thee disgrace, of thy rare parts had been the rude effect, that cruel pride held gentle pity's place, then wouldst thou ne'er have looked on lowly me, to find what merit there thou mightst approve, Nor would my heart, grown warm for haughty thee, dare or desire to clamour for thy love. But all thy gifts were made more rich, more rare, by inward sweetness kind beyond compare.
6. Why, thou being changeless, changeful did I write, trusting thy truth, yet doubting thy defect, now all triumphant, now confounded quite, sad suited all, or proud in purple decked? Did I not write of thy rare constancy, wherein was none like thee, thou like to none? Swear that thy heart within my heart did lie, past all removal, till the world were done? E'en so, but though, when clouds the region hold, masking with envious murk the sun's bright face, our o'ergloomed spirits shudder 'neath the cold, he merits not the blame of that disgrace. Himself is still the same, still warm, still bright, though clouds between hide both the warmth and light. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sonnets of Shakespeare's Ghost by Thomas George Tucker. Read for LibriVox.org by Nemo and Eva Davis. Section 2, Sonnets 7 through 12. 7. Yet, being so chilled, do we not chide the sun, and say he wilful hides his face away? Say 'tis his will makes the world drear and dun, and takes the golden glory from the day? The envious rack we rather should reproach, that comes betwixt us in despite of him, rebellious powers that on his reign encroach, and black themselves his brightness joy to dim. So when the troubling mischiefs of the time, or baser minds bent upon marring thee, stole moments of thy favour, then my rhyme slandered thy love and slurred thy constancy. Yet the sun's self unstained and bright remains, and my heart knew thy stains were not thy stains.
8. If wrongfully I moaned thy pretty wrongs, when I was sometime absent from thy heart, O none so trusting but to him belongs some moody moment of his mortal part. No man doth nature make whose trust doth ever, unveering with all winds, point still the same. None is so whole in health he knows no fever to shake the firm composure of his frame. My love so wholly thine, thy worth so dear, made each thine absence so distract my breast, that in his turmoil faith sometime to fear converted, doubting most when most 'twas blest, because mine own heart lone without thee seemed, me absent from thy heart I falsely deemed.
9. I writ how once I wandered from thy side, serving the strong suggestions of my blood, only to prove from worse things vainly tried how far more precious grew thy sum of good. If I so loved thee, what is my defence? That thy dear love failed then my steps to stay? That idle hours were idly given to sense, and soul forsaken at the call of clay? Oh, let love grant excuse. My sensual part dwelt ever far from pure untainted thee. It held no conversation with my heart, nor, used or checked, could be thine injury. If once it triumphed, carrying me away, it stole but earth, my soul did with thee stay.
10. If that my sensual deed had stol'n from thee aught that were part of thy most precious love, or made to swerve the loving soul of me, that to thy service it should duller prove, had made to me thy grace less gracious seem, thy worth less worth, thy love a smaller prize, or bated aught of thy most rich esteem, which still grew richer in thy servant's eyes, then were it fault too foul to find excuse, and all I writ of thee were vows untrue, my verse were naught but idle poet's use, conceit's worn weeds laced o'er with wording new. But 'twas not so, though true my love before, 'twas thenceforth purged, and prized thee all the more.
11. Wherefore should I mine own heart not unfold, and his true workings to the world disclose? Why self unlocking for unseemly hold, which me, as I showed others, human shows? If I to nature held her truthful glass, and on the stage life's self did strive to set, creating thousand shadows that should pass for very substance when men's eyes they met, if there I imaged love, hate, doubt, and trust, if all the pageant of the mortal heart, might not one say, this man within him must have learned from nature what he shaped in art? All passion's depths he only can reveal, who doth them all within him living feel.
12. Whence came it that I knew in others' case how bitter sweet in tyrant slave is love, how quick to jealous doubt it yieldeth place, if mine own self did ne'er his power prove? Whence knew I the deep sense that in the soul is thrilled and thralled by perfect beauty's sight, if never beauty did myself control with all the mastery of sovereign might? Since so my heart laid bare what it contained of understanding of love's mysteries, and naught of thine or mine our loving stained, that I should hide it from misprising eyes, no shame or scruple might my judgment see, to tell of that true love I bore to thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. End of Sonnets of Shakespeare's Ghost by Thomas George Tucker.